Hey guys, today on Low Carb with Jennifer, I'm going to show you how to make keto Mongolian beef. So to get started with our Mongolian beef, I've got a flat iron steak here. And now I know that most Mongolian beef recipes use like a flank steak and also fajita recipes, but flank steak is really expensive and flat iron steak is just as good and it's a lot cheaper. Plus my grandpa, he was a butcher and he said that flank steak was actually, used to be really cheap. And when it started getting popular, the butchers jacked up the price. So anyway, there you know, now you know. So I'm gonna cut this in thin slices on the bias. I have my knife kind of at an angle and we're just gonna slice down. I've got a really sharp knife. And it just makes the pieces more wide like that and makes it look pretty. You also want to make sure you cut the steak against the grain. So the grain is running this way, so we're cutting against the grain. Just makes for a more tender steak. Okay, before we cook our beef, I'm going to make the sauce. So I've got a little bit of avocado oil. And I'm going to add in some minced garlic and some minced ginger and red pepper flakes. I cook that for a minute. And I'm going to add in this is soy sauce, but if you're gluten-free, please use coconut aminos or tamari. I'm also going to add in some sweetener. I like to use granulated Lakanto, but you could also use Swerve, whatever is a 1-for-1 substitute for sugar, your favorite version. So we're just gonna let this sweetener dissolve. I'm gonna add in some water. And that's all for the sauce. Just gonna cook it until the water dissolves. I mean, not the water dissolves. Cook it until the sweetener dissolves. And then we're gonna remove it from the pan and cook our beef. Okay, we got the sweetener dissolved, so I'm gonna remove this from the pan. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil to the pan. I'm gonna let it get hot, and I'm gonna start to cook the beef. Let that get a little bit hotter. Okay, I'm gonna start to cook the beef. And this is probably gonna need to cook in batches, just so you don't crowd the pan. But we want to brown both sides. And you can see, since we sliced against the grain, you can see how the shreds of the meat, it's just going to be a lot easier to eat. If you would have cut this with the grain, it would just be a terrible, terrible, tough meat and hard to eat. Okay, our final batch of meat is done. So now I'm going to turn my heat down. I'm going to add the sauce back to the pan. And I'm going to scrape the bottom, scrape the browned bits up off the bottom from the steak. And I'm also going to add in xanthan gum. I'm going to sprinkle it in lightly so it doesn't clump, and stir as I'm sprinkling it. And that is going to thicken up our sauce. I'm going to bring it to a boil. You have to bring it to a boil for the xanthan gum to be activated. That smells good. Okay, we've got our sauce all ready and thick and nice and delicious. So we're gonna add the meat back and it's gonna be coated in the sauce. You wanna make sure and get all that delicious stuff off of there. Okay, our final step is to add in some green onions that we sliced on the bias. Add those to the pan. And look at that. Keto Mongolian beef. It doesn't get any simpler or more delicious than that. Check that out. Guys, make sure you check out these other keto takeout recipes that I have in this playlist right here, and I will see you guys later. Bye.